WWE's latest Saturday night's main event special is finally here. Join us now as we look at all the winners and losers of the event, plus some last minute shocking rumors. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's get right into the first match of Tiffany Stratton vs Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's title. To say that Tiffany Stratton's women's title reign has been lackluster would be quite the understatement. While Stratton has had some fantastic matches in her reign, WWE's insistence on her feuding with the same names over and over again has done a massive disservice to the quality of her overall reign. It's disappointing that Stratton has one of the longest women's title reigns of all time, yet she doesn't have a lot to show for it. She doesn't have that compelling rivalry that truly set the tone for her reign, and she's been massively let down by WWE Creative. Stratton once again meets Jade Cargill at Saturday night's main event, and with the two having a decent matchup at SummerSlam, the two should hopefully be able to deliver a fantastic matchup. There's also the added intrigue of Cargill's recent heel turn, and with Cargill set to work her first ever match as a heel in WWE, this could create a new dynamic and finally give Stratton a formidable foe to face. Due to Cargill only turning heel 8 days before the show, it's likely that they follow this up with a title win. It was reported by Dave Meltzer earlier this week that WWE has big plans for Cargill, and she was initially going to walk into WrestleMania 41 as Women's Champion. Now, according to Meltzer, WWE are getting back on track with these plans, and likely means that Saturday night's main event formally sees the end of Tiffy time. Now, whilst Cargill winning the world title would shake things up and hopefully bring new life to the SmackDown product, there's still going to be issues on the Blue brand. If Cargill wins, who does she exactly feud with? There's a distinct lack of depth within the women's division, and there are hardly any female babyfaces for her to face. WWE's plan is likely to continue the feud between Cargill and Stratton, but how long can this keep fan interest for? WWE made the fatal mistake of spamming the Stratton vs Nia Jax feud into oblivion, so much so that the feud was openly mocked by fans. WWE should look to avoid following a similar pattern here. One option WWE has is turning a heel babyface to feud with Cargill. Chelsea Green is insanely over with the crowd, and she could easily turn babyface and the crowd would eat it up. Whatever WWE has planned, a draft is really needed as soon as possible, as whilst Cargill winning the title would definitely be a positive step forward, the underlying problems within the product are still going to be unfortunately present. But our prediction, Jade Cargill wins the WWE Women's title. Next up is Dominic Mysterio vs Penta vs Rusev for the Intercontinental Championship. A last-minute addition to the card sees Dominic Mysterio once again defend his Intercontinental title. This time, Dirty Dom will defend against both Rusev and Penta. Whilst it could be argued that it's time for Mysterio to drop the title, it doesn't look like now is the most appropriate time. There is the X factor of the Judgment Day disbanding, but this has been teased for what feels like a lifetime now, and it's unlikely that the formal breakup occurs on Saturday night's main event special. It's been reported that at the next month's Survivor Series War Games show, Mysterio will have the biggest match of his career versus John Cena. If this is indeed the case, then the triple threat match is likely on the card to make Mysterio look as strong as possible heading into the match. A Mysterio win is inevitable here, and who knows, maybe WWE will actively begin to tease the Survivor Series match versus Cena in a vignette. But our prediction, Dominic Mysterio retains the Intercontinental Championship. Next up is Cody Rhodes vs Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. Now on paper, a high-profile feud over the WWE title between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre should be firing on all cylinders. Unfortunately, something is missing from the rivalry, and fans have been extremely critical of what WWE have offered. The problems began back at WrestlePalooza when the two met in what was described as a house show level match. The match was awkward, slow, and it was as if both men didn't even want to be there. This was so bizarre as the two have had some elite television matches in the past, and at one point, fans were pushing for this match to be on the WrestleMania match card. The problem is obviously the creative direction of the SmackDown product, as the names involved in the creative process on SmackDown don't seem to understand both men's respective characters. When the WWE Champion is on Raw, he's a different wrestler altogether, and it's like the Rhodes that initially got over back in 2022 comes to the forefront once more. The original plans for WrestlePalooza were to see McIntyre win the WWE title. Originally, Randy Orton was going to accidentally cost Rhodes the title. This finish was reportedly favored by Rhodes himself, but in typical WWE fashion, they thought they knew better. The finish leaking online sent fans into a meltdown, as this finish would have been completely unique and would have given a stale SmackDown product a new lease of life. Is it possible that WWE commits to doing this finish again? Well, it's possible. Orton has mysteriously disappeared off WWE programming, and it could be theorized that the creative plans for Survivor Series involve a triple threat with all three names involved. Speaking of Survivor Series, does WWE hold off on the title change? We already have a new world champion set to be crowned, so WWE may be under the impression that 2 new male world champions in a 2-hour show is probably overkill. This is smart logic, but the key is protecting McIntyre as much as humanly possible. Rhodes pinning McIntyre clean could be a death sentence for his legitimacy, so WWE has to think carefully on how McIntyre can be protected. WWE delivered the weird DQ finish during a match between the two on SmackDown, so it's unlikely they would revisit that again. One option is Orton interfering and costing McIntyre the title. This then sets up the triple threat at Survivor Series. McIntyre can finally win the big one. Another factor is that the match likely won't main event this show, so WWE can get away with a controversial finish, as the show will ultimately end with either Jey Uso or CM Punk winning the title. Whatever the case, it's extremely unlikely that Rhodes drops the title at Saturday night's main event special. Although this is the first special to air exclusively on Peacock in the US and not NBC, we still know very little in terms of the format and whether the matches will contain commercial breaks throughout. And let's hope to God that they don't. Our prediction: Cody Rhodes retains the WWE title. And finally, time for the main event as CM Punk takes on Jey Uso for the vacant world title. Now, upon Seth Rollins going down with a very serious injury, WWE were forced to change their very creative direction for the world title. Rollins would surrender the world title, be unceremoniously booted out of his own faction, and a new #1 contender would be crowned to face the prior #1 contender CM Punk. Jey Uso would win the Battle Royal on Raw, and to say that this received backlash would be an understatement. Fans were so displeased that WWE's YouTube upload of Jey's win received thousands upon thousands of dislikes, making it one of WWE's most disliked YouTube video of all time, and definitely the second most disliked video of 2025. Due to this backlash, there's no way WWE puts the belt on Jey, right? Well, Jey has been teasing a heel turn for a few months now, and WWE loves controversy, so it really wouldn't be out of the question. However, Punk is a safe bet. Punk is insanely over with the live crowd, and he has the equity as a main event attraction. Punk being the champion heading into WrestleMania season is the most exciting option possible, and with the WWE product not being as hot as it once was, this should be the direction they take. A contributing factor in this is Survivor Series War Games. We still have no idea what the creative plans for the show are, especially with Rollins being injured. It was claimed originally that the Vision vs Team CM Punk was set for the show, and whilst this could still happen, Punk's issues is predominantly with Rollins, not other members of the stable, so this wouldn't make too much sense. Does the winner of this match simply defend in a singles match at Survivor Series War Games, and the War Games match is saved for the MFT vs the Wyatt Six storyline on the Blue brand? Well, before Rollins was hurt, the initial plans for Saturday night's main event were for Rollins and Punk to close out the show for the world title. There have been no concrete reports on whether Punk was supposed to win this match, but with WWE being obsessed with spamming that respective feud, it seems unlikely. If WWE goes with Jey, the backlash will only increase, and Jey's initial world title reign that started at WrestleMania 41 wasn't exactly anything special. What is there to gain from giving Jey another shot as world champion? Well, unfortunately, this is an era where WWE loves to push the emotions of the fan base, but this is one occasion where they need to think things through and go with the most sensible option for their product. As our prediction, CM Punk wins the vacated World Heavyweight Championship. But what about some potential surprises? Due to this being the first show as part of a new agreement with Peacock, it's entirely possible that WWE has a surprise or two in store for fans. In relation to what names could be returning or cameoing on the show, there are some potential options, the first being Brock Lesnar. Lesnar is said to be a part of Survivor Series this year, and WWE may wish to have Lesnar return in time for a big event. The other is a returning Andrade. The chaos surrounding Andrade's WWE contract is well documented. It now turns out that WWE could be using Andrade's non-compete against him, and this could lead to him making a dramatic return to the company. But what about Gunther? Any day now, Gunther is set to return to WWE television. He's been absent from WWE TV due to a nose injury, and Gunther making his presence felt on the show would be a sensible call for WWE. They could even have the ring general confront CM Punk at the end of the show, and this will be a big money matchup to feature on the Survivor Series War Games match card. What do you guys think? Let us know your predictions down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.